Hello everyone, it's me Sanjay Vasu back again for another video. This time I'm doing it on Cambridge O-Level Mathematics for Syllabus D, Paper 1 which is a non-calc paper, and there's a specimen paper for exam from 2025. Let's start. Before going to the questions, there's a formula sheet which is always given in every O-Level exam paper containing all of these formulas, and this is there in every exam. Now we can go to the questions. Question 1. Write 2.70486 to 3 decimal places. So third decimal place is 4, and the next is 8, and 8 is greater than 5. Therefore, we add 1 to the 4 in the third decimal place, so 2.705 is our answer. 2. Simplify 10y minus 2y plus 5y. That will be equal to y times 10 minus 2 plus 5. And we can calculate this to be 13y. Question 3. The bar chart shows the marks scored by a group of students in a test. A. Write down the mode. So in this case, the mode is going to be the one with the highest frequency. The marks with the highest frequency in this case is 9 marks with 6 people scoring that. So the mode is 9. B. Work out the total number of students in the group. So we just add up all the frequencies. There's 2, 3, 1, there's a 3, there's a 5, 6, and 5. So we add up all these numbers I've written, and we'll get 25 students. C. Find the median score. So I have 25 students, which is the middle student. So 1 plus 25 by 2, since there's the first, last, and then we find the mean of the two. So that's 13th student. So this is the median student, and now the median score is going to be the score of the 13th student in ascending order. So you have 2, 5 using cumulative frequency, 6, 9, 14. This bar is where we get the 13th student because it contains the 10th to the 14th students. So the median score is going to be that bar, which is 8. That's the answer. Question 4. The scale drawing shows the position of town A and town B. Town B is due north of town A. The scale of the drawing is 1 centimeter to 5 kilometers. A. Town C lies to the east of line AB, is 25 kilometers from A and 40 kilometers from B. Using a ruler and pair of compasses only, construct the position of town C on the scale drawing. I cannot exactly measure everything using a ruler, since the app which I'm using does not allow me to do that, but I can still show you how it's to be done. And you can try it out yourself and see if the answer which I've shown is correct. So first we convert these kilometers readings to centimeters due to the scale of the drawing. So we just divide by 5 to get 5 centimeters, 8 centimeters. Now we take our compasses. So it's 5 centimeters from A. So you can measure the 5 centimeters from A. So placing the compass point at A and having it 5 centimeters. So we can just draw the arc, something like that. Of course, this is not an accurate measurement since I'm not taking the lengths. And now for B, 8 centimeters we have to take, so we place the compass point here, and then as for 8 centimeters, it goes something like this. Actually, it'll be a bit below that, somewhere here, and this intersection point over here is the position of town C, and that's labeled. Now for part B, measure the bearing of town C from town A. So you can draw the line AC, just like this, and now we can find the bearing of C from A. So north of A is this, and clockwise from A to C, we have to measure this angle over here. And if we measure this angle, it's going to be 125 degrees. That's not the only answer, of course. There could be some fluctuations, for example, plus or minus 2 degrees. So any answer from 123 to 127 degrees is accepted. That'll be the answer. Let's go to question 5. Question 5, write down the reciprocal of 9. The reciprocal of any number is simply 1 divided by that number. So in this case, it's going to just be 1 divided by 9 or 1 by 9. That's our answer. Let's go to question 6. Work out A, 0.2 times 0.4. That's equal to 2 by 10 times 4 by 10, converting to fractions. 8 by 100, and that's 0.08. B, 1 by 3 plus 2 by 3 divided by 7 by 6. That's 1 by 3 plus 2 by 3 times 6 by 7. Of course, we do division first, or in this case, we just flipped it to multiplication, so it's easier. Now we can cancel, and we get 1 by 3 plus 4 by 7. Now, we can write this as 7 by 21 plus 12 by 21, 19 by 21. That's the answer. Question 7. Factorize 12ab minus 3a squared. That's simply 3a times dividing 12ab by 3a, we get 4b. Dividing 3a squared by 3a, we get a. So 3a times 4b minus a is the final answer. Question 8. Maya has a spinner with 4 sections numbered 1 to 4. She spins it 200 times. Her results are shown in the table. The number on the spinner and the frequency are all given. A. 1. Write down the relative frequency of the spinner landing on a 2. That is the frequency value from an experiment, which is simply 70. Part 2. Maya says that this relative frequency is a good estimate for a probability of the spinner landing on 2. Explain why she is correct. Well, since she has done this using an actual experiment with a large number of trials, we can see that her frequency is a good estimate. So the large number of trials in the experiment. That's the answer. Part B. Maya spins the spinner 500 times. Find the number of times Maya should expect the spinner to land on a 2. So that's simply 70 by 200, which is the probability using this trials, and multiplying by 500. Now we can cancel out a bit, and we get 175. Question 9. The equation of line P is 5x plus 2y equals 13. Equation of line Q is y equals 2x minus 7. A. Find the gradient of line P. So let's rearrange to make y the subject. 2y equals 13 minus 5x. That means y equals 13 by 2 minus 5 by 2x. And this value over here is the gradient. And we can write m equals minus 5 by 2, since m is how the gradient is represented. Part B. Find the coordinates of the point of intersection of line Q with the x-axis. So this is basically the point where y equals 0. So 0 equals 2x minus 7. Note that we're dealing with line Q, not line P. So 7 equals 2x, and therefore x equals 7 by 2, which is 3.5. And if y equals 0, the coordinates are going to be 3.5 comma 0. That'll be the answer. Part C. Find the coordinates of the point of intersection of line P and Q. So the coordinates of intersection is going to be where these two are both true at the same time. So you can make them as simultaneous equations. 5x plus 2y equals 13, y equals 2x minus 7. We can substitute the second simultaneous equation into the first. So we can substitute 2 into 1. That means 5x plus 2 times 2x minus 7 equals 13. That means 5x plus 4x minus 14 equals 13. 9x equals 27, x equals 3. Now substituting x equals 3 into the second equation, or line Q, to get the y value. So y equals 2 times 3 minus 7, which is minus 1. So the coordinates are x equals 3, y equals minus 1, and that'll be our answer. Now you can go to question 10. The diagram shows a container in the shape of a prism with an open top. The cross-section of the prism ABCD is a trapezium. AB equals 14 centimeters, CD equals 26 centimeters, BF equals 30. The height of the container is 8 centimeters. A. Calculate the area of the trapezium ABCD. So for calculating the area of a trapezium, we have a simple formula. The area is equal to half times A plus B times H. And A plus B is the sum of the two sides, the shorter and longer one. And H is the height of the trapezium, the vertical height. Now that'll be half times 14 plus 26 times 8. And that'll simply be equal to 160 centimeters squared. B. Calculate the capacity of the container in liters. Now the capacity of the container is going to be the volume times some amount according to the unit of the volume. So first, the volume is equal to 160 times 30 because the area of the cross section times length, that's going to be equal to 4800 centimeters cubed. Now 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 ml, and therefore you can write this as 4800 milliliters, and that's simply 4.8 liters. That's the answer. Let's go to part C. Calculate the total surface area of the inside of the container. So the surface area of the inside of the container is simply going to be the area here plus the two trapezium areas plus this rectangle area plus this rectangle area. So we have to find this length first to find the area of these two rectangles. And by the way, if you're wondering, this length over here is 30 as well as this. Therefore, this one is easy to find. We can find the trapeziums, which are 160 each, and therefore we just need to find this length here to find the area of the rectangles. Note that these two are equal. So we can split this trapezium into right angle triangle here, the remaining portion on the other side. Now, if we split one more time on the other side as well, we will get two identical triangles, and this length is 14 here. So each of these is going to be 26 minus 14 divided by 2, since these two are equal, these two are equal, and therefore we need these equal as well. And they're 90 degrees, of course. Therefore, they're congruent. We need the same side length, which is 6 each. Alright, now we can find the side length here. Since the height is 8, the length of the triangle, or the base of the triangle, is 6. So AD squared, which is the height squared, is equal to 6 squared plus 8 squared, which is 100 centimeters. And AD is equal to the square root of 100, which is 10 centimeters. Now we have this length dA, and we can multiply by dH to find the area of one rectangle. And the same thing for the other side. So this AD is 10, BC is 10, this is 30 here, 26, and we know the area of one trapezium already from this question. Therefore, we can simply write down the total surface area is going to be 2 times 160, which are the area of the two trapeziums, plus 10 times 30 times 2. This is because we have two rectangles over here, which are AEHD and BFGC. Now we need to find the area of this lower surface, which is ABFE. Why are we not finding the area of the upper rectangle? That's because it says that the prism is an open top, and therefore this does not actually exist. It's just the shape is formed by the other shapes which are lining it. This shape is just left open. So we only find the area of this, which is 14 times 30, since it's a rectangle. So we just add 14 times 30, and that'll be 320 plus 600 plus 420, and we get 1340 centimeters squared. That's the answer. D. A mathematically similar container has a height of 16 centimeters. Calculate the total surface area of the inside of the container with height 16 centimeters. So the ratio of sides is going to be the ratio of the heights, which is 8 is to 16, since 8 centimeters is the height of this original container, and 16 centimeters is the height of the new container. So the ratio of sides is 1 is to 2. Let's just write that down. Now the ratio of areas, or in this case total surface area, is going to be 1 squared is to 2 squared, since area is equal to side squared, since area equals a length squared. So we can write 1 is to 4. And since we have 1340 for our one part, so 4 parts is going to be 1340 times 4. So total surface area is going to be 1340 times 4, which is equal to 5360 centimeters squared. That's our answer. Let's go to question 11. Gray squares and white squares are used to make patterns in a sequence. The first three patterns are shown. A. Shade squares in pattern 4 to continue. So that's simply going to be shading the middle column and then shading the top row. So we just shade all this, and then the middle column will include this as well. So that's it. B. Complete the table for patterns in the sequence. So pattern number is all given. Number of gray squares we have to find. So let's see how many are shaded. That'll be 9 over here, and then there's another 4, so 13. And we can see number of white squares is gonna be 16, and then another 16, so 32. And this fifth diagram, we don't need to draw the diagram for that. Even for this one, we didn't need to use the diagram. We could have just found the sequence here. We can see that it is plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So next one also, we add 3, right? Therefore, we get 16 if we add 3. And now this one is plus 6, plus 10, plus 14. Next, we do plus 18, since each of this is plus 4, plus 4, plus 4 for the differences. In other words, the second difference is plus 4, and this is simply going to be 50. Now for part C1, find an expression in terms of n for a number of gray squares in pattern n. So we can see that this first difference is the same, and for the first difference being the same, the nth term is going to be a plus n minus 1 times the difference, or d, and a is the first term. So that'll be 4 plus n minus 1 times the difference, which is 3. So that'll simply be 3n plus 1. Part 2, write an expression in terms of n for a number of white squares in pattern n. Now as for this one over here, we have the second difference is the same, plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Therefore, this is a quadratic sequence, or the highest term is going to be n squared. So now if we write down the sequence n squared, that'll be 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on. Now for this sequence here, or the white squares, that'll simply be 2, 8, 18, 32, 50, so on. These are the values we have written here. And do you notice a relation between the two? We can see that if you multiply 1 by 2, we get 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 times 2 is 16. And same for the other two values. Therefore, the value of the sequence is going to be 2n squared, since it's 2 times the sequence n squared. That's the answer. Now let's go to part D. Pattern 10 and 11 in the sequence are made from gray and white squares. Find the difference between the total number of squares needed to make pattern 10 and 11. So the total number of squares will be adding these two sequences together. And the total is going to be 2n squared plus 3n plus 1. Now for pattern 10, this will be 2 times 10 squared plus 3 times 10 plus 1. That's going to be 231. And as for pattern 11, is going to be 2 times 11 squared plus 3 times 11 plus 1, which is simply 276. And subtracting these values to get the difference, that'll be 45. Part E, pattern K in the sequence needs 61 gray squares. Find a number of white squares needed for this pattern. So 61 gray squares means 3n plus 1, which is the sequence for gray squares, is equal to 61. That means 3n is equal to 60, n is equal to 20. Now the number of white squares, that'll be equal to 2n squared. And in this case, using n equals 20, 2 times 20 squared is 800. That's the answer. Question 12. The position vector of point A is minus 2, 3. AB equals 5 minus 1, and AB equals BC. Find the position vector of point C. So position vector means the distance from the origin. That's minus 2 in the x-axis, 3 in the y-axis. That means point A is going to be in coordinate form minus 2, comma 3 as well. Now AB is equal to 5 minus 1 given already. How do you find the point B from this? So that'll be A plus the vector AB, which is minus 2, 3 plus 5 minus 1. And that's simply going to be 3, 2. And now, as for part C, or point C position vector, by the way, this is going to be the position vector of point B, or in other words, OB. And now, as for position vector of point C, since AB is equal to BC, that means that we just add the vector AB one more time to get C. So 3, 2 plus 5, 1, 5 minus 1 is going to be 8, 1. That's the point C. That's the answer. Question 13, write 0.233333 as a fraction in simplest form. This dot above 3 represents endless 3's. So 0.23 with a dot on top, that's 0.2333 dot, that's equal to x, let's say. So that means 10x is going to be equal to 2.3333, goes on. Now that means 10x minus x is going to be 2.3333 minus 0.2333. And that's simply 2.1, which is 9x. So x is equal to 2.1 by 9, which is 21 by 90. And we can simplify this to 7 by 30. That's our answer.